Hello, everyone's. I am here for my review of Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 2, Episode 23, The Reunion Part 2. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am Lady T. I like to do reviews on scripted reality shows as well as scripted shows. If you're returning, you're one of my people, welcome back. So, before we get into these comments, excuse the hair. My hair did not want me to be great today. I don't know what happened in the process of me doing my hair, but it was like, no, we not gonna curl like you want to. And since I have somewhat of some curls, getting it into a ponytail was gonna be a no-no. So y'all gonna get me as I am. So I have a comment from this is from episode 19, and this is from Maria M.O. I cannot believe that Mary supposedly is a minister with no education. The way this woman acts is not godly at all. Wait a minute. She enjoys spending the tithe and money on her own clothing labels while some of the folks in the church have only milk in the fridge. To have the nerve to ask someone to take a loan against their home for $300,000 and give it to her is a shameful act. Are these people acting as a bank? I was like, I don't know, but as far as that $300,000, we gonna get into that one in this review right here. As far as the $300,000 loan given away, what have you. So from last week's video, we got one from Uma Storytime World. Shout out to Carol Baskin, the Tiger King, and of course, Honey Boo Boo. Thanks, Boo. Y'all, thank you for commenting. If y'all didn't know, I don't respond to the comments on YouTube in the comment section. I like to come to y'all and read the comments and just, give y'all my opinion on what y'all done said. So let's get into this review. Now, for the first, I want to say 28 minutes of the review, it was Mary talk. They spent This lady ain't even there, but they spend time talking about marriage. Now, y'all excuse, I got my little portable heater going on right now because it is 54 degrees. Yesterday it was good and sunny. Didn't even need a jacket. But now it want to be a little bit chilly in here. And your girl, I don't like being cold, so I got my heater going. So if y'all hear that, just excuse the noise. Now, Lisa tries to explain that when her kids had that little lunch party situation, that she had invited Whitney on her own and not her kids, but she didn't invite Jen because they had a little blow up at the photo shoot. Her son witnessed and or heard the argument. It was like, I don't want Jen there. He got upset and all that stuff and started crying. Then she got to talking about some. I love Jen Shaw, even though it's controversial. And I was like, is it controversial like after, she didn't got arrested, or was it before? Because I'm thinking it's got to do with after she got arrested. Like, you don't want to be friends with somebody who was allegedly out here stealing, money from, the elderly and the low income of the people. You don't want to be associated with somebody like that. So I'm just gonna take it as it's controversial being friends with her after all that the news that came out. Jen, she is upset and tired of all these disclaimers. Like, either you gonna love me and be my friend, or don't love me and don't be my friend. It's simple as that. I don't want all these, controversial going on with my feelings and all that stuff. You see, Heather, she done stuck by Jen. Even when she was gonna tip Jen off like, hey girl, the police, the FBI, Homeland Security, and the NYPD Blue is looking for you. She was gonna be that ride or die for Jen. Lisa, on the other hand, was getting on the phone with all six of her lawyers, and it still, to me, to this day, seems a little suspicious. Like, what you got going on? Are you trying to make sure all the dealings that you have done is on the up and up because you don't want to be, going on a girl's trip and they showing up on your tail? Just wondering. So they get to holding Lisa to the fire for all the messy shenanigans that she has been doing. Like that time when she's hop, skipped, and jumped and went down there and told Mary, the girls was down there talking about you. Mainly Whitney. She said A, she said B, she said C, and she said D. And then just conveniently left out that she was the one that brought up the conversation. And ooh, Cameron, he took out a loan for $300,000, and then he gave it to doggone. Said he gave it to she was telling the girls, yeah, Cameron took out $300,000 loan on his house, gave it to Mary and all that other stuff. Girl, yeah, that's child. That's what he did. That's what he told me. But she left that out when she went and talked to Mary. Lisa is good for that. She'll go after she done doggone either started the conversation about somebody. Ooh, I just look like I'm head and shoulders. Either after y'all like my moo. Yes, it's a caftan type of day, y'all. Anyways, back to the review. Either she comes with y'all with the mess, or somebody then gave her the mess, and whoever we talk about at that time, she will conveniently excuse herself and then go hop, skip, and jump and go to that person. You know what they were saying about you, but leaving out what she's saying, like she coming to you as a good friend. She coming to you, from the whore, but all the while being messy. She wanted Mary to jump on Whitney, but I'm like, girl, we had cameras on you saying what you had to say. Did you not think this was gonna get out, or you just figured, okay, I done got her riled up on Whitney. That's my goal. If she get mad with me in the end, I'm okay with that because my intentional goal was her to be mad at Whitney. Was that it? Where we at? Okay, then they break up. Lisa calling Meredith to let her know that the Popo and the FBI had came out looking for Jen. But I'm with Meredith. Because, Lisa made it seem, or she believed, that Meredith was still with her family as they was having a memorial for her father. But my thing is, if I'm at a memorial for a family member, especially my daddy, my ringer is going to be on silent. I'm not going to be answering any calls. Even like when I'm going to like baby showers and stuff like that, I keep my phone on silent, but I will keep it up so I can say, "Oh, message came through." And if it's not in like a 911 text, like I need you to call me right now, something special, I'm not answering. So I'm like, I didn't think of that at the time, but like, why would she be answering your call if she was in the midst of the memorial service? And then I forgot about this too, but Meredith was in the bathtub getting her a good little bubble bath on when Jen was getting arrested by the authorities. I had forgot that until they brought that back around. I was like, yeah, she wasn't at her father's memorial. She was in the bathtub because Mary came in standing there looking all awkward because they ain't had no time to be on that sprinter van, which I don't like road trips like that too. I've told y'all time and time again, 9 hours is my limit. And they was probably sitting there waiting for the longest time once, the FBI, Homeland Security, U-Paw police, and the NYPD Blue had got there. They was probably sitting there for that long time. And they know somebody gonna have to go to the restroom. I'm gonna get hungry. I'm gonna have to go to the restroom. So we're gonna have to make all these stops. 9 hours is my limit. I would have took, okay, let's just fly. That would have been me. But she's like, no, you said you was at the memorial. I was like, Meredith was like, I never told you I was at the memorial. You said that, I'm there for your family, whatever she said. But Lisa, just because you said she was at the memorial does not mean she was at the memorial. Because clearly she was in the bathtub getting her a good bubble bath on while y'all was on the sprinter van. Anyways, where we at? They talk about Mary's church and whether it's a cult. I guess at that service that Janet went to, they was fanning Mary. Well, I've been to a church where when somebody is still in the spirit, or they didn't got too excited, or they was dancing and they didn't got hot, what have you, I've seen the usher come along and fan them. That's nothing unusual. But what was unusual, because Jen made it seem like that it was a Mother's Day special, and all the mothers they love was going to Jen and Jen alone, and not the rest of the mothers. And I was like, yeah, that's upset. That's a little odd. Not upset. That's a little odd. But that's their church. I don't know. And y'all, it pains me that I am agreeing with she who shall remain nameless. Because she's like, Why are we even talking about Mary's church? I'm like, yes, y'all are obsessed with this woman, and she ain't even here. We spent 2 episodes of the reunion, and Mary's name has come up. That shows you how much doggone it. I don't want to say authority, but like impact that Mary has had on this show that I don't even have to be there, and they're bringing up my name. But Heather's like, wait a minute. Okay, oh yeah. Heather was like, well, we only brought up Mary's church is because Lisa brought Cameron on and it became a topic of discussion. I was like, yeah, that is right. That is what it became. Now, I have a question for Whitney. Last year or last season, when you and your daddy had went to Mary's church, did it seem like a cult then? Or was it after she got mad at you for not answering the phone? Because you seem like, oh, I'm so grateful that it was nice of you to invite me to your church. It seemed like now that the tables were turned and you were hurt, y'all are no longer cool. I can't get my words out. That now you were seeing things with a new light. You didn't heard some information whether it's true or not, and now you didn't jumped on the bandwagon. Yes, that is a cult. Heather says that the Mormon church is questionable as well because and it could possibly be a cult because they don't support the LGBTQ. I think IA. Do not get me wrong. I'm not trying to be shady. I think it's the. I'm just gonna say the LBGTQ. And not gonna they the women are on lower tiers than the men. A man could gonna be cheating on his woman up, down, left, and right, and they get a divorce. He's still gonna be praising the church. Her, not so much. Lisa introduced Meredith to Cameron and made it a point to like they are extremely close. Mary and Meredith are extremely close. They are very, very good friends. And the way she said it was like, you know this information or you have this alleged information about Mary. I don't like the fact that my good friend Meredith is friends with Mary. So Cameron, I want you to go over there and tell Meredith what you know about Mary. That's what it seemed to that's what it seemed to come across. Heather and Whitney believed Cameron was brought in to spread a little gossip about Mary to Meredith, and Meredith was gonna bring it to the rest of the group. But y'all, Whitney, I'm glad that she admitted that she falls for Lisa's tricks every time. I'm like, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Can't fool me a third time. Because I don't know. I learned a long time ago when to just shut up and observe. We gonna go back to my teenage years. This ain't got nothing to do with the show, but this when I learned to shut up and observe. My cousin had asked me if, I would hit a friend of hers. I knew this friend. We weren't the best of friends. We weren't even cool like that. For whatever reason, she was jealous of me. Don't know why till this day. And I was like, if she hits me, yes, but I'm not just going to go out there and hit her. Fast forward a little time later, we talking, and she's like, didn't you say you was gonna hit her? And I was like, no, what I said was if she hit me, I would hit her back. And that's what I said. Come to find out that friend was on the phone, and I don't know if my cousin was trying to get me to say, yeah, I would hit her to get some drama calls. I don't know. So that's when I've learned to sit back, shut up, and observe. You don't always have to say something all the time. I don't always have to go run and tell you what I done heard about somebody. And that's where Whitney falls for Lisa's tricks all the time. Y'all, and then when Meredith got to cross-examining Lisa, I was in pure joy. Yes, I was upset with Meredith because she didn't go out there and, check on her friend Mary. And she admitted that Mary sent her a little nasty text upset because, hey, I didn't got assaulted by this woman and nobody came to check on me. It's said that Seth came to check on Mary, but Meredith, how come you yourself didn't go check on Mary? when Mary was walking out and you was seeing what had happened, you should have walked out with Mary. Been like, hey girl, I'm gonna walk out with you. I know that was wrong, that was messed up what she did, but I'm here for you. Call me when you get home, call me in the morning, we can talk, something like that. But the fact that Meredith didn't do that, I was side eyeing her on that. But then come this episode when she was cross-examining Lisa and getting her fully together, I was loving it. I was. It brought me joy. This is when they're talking about whether or not Cameron gave, loaned, donated, what have you, $300,000 for him selling his house to Mary. This is when Lisa's like, I may have been wrong on I may have been wrong on the number. I don't know what is wrong with me today, but for whatever reason, words is just like, we're not gonna cooperate with you today. We just gonna be all a jingle jumble mess. Meredith lets it be known in one of her conversations off camera from Lisa. Lisa admitted that Cameron did not donate, loan, and or give $300,000 to Mary or her church. She told her that it was about 10% of that. So I'm like, so he paid tithes on the money that he from the sale of his house? Is that what you're saying? And she said, and Mary told her same thing, that he sold his house and he paid 10% to his tithes. That's what it sounds like when she said he gave you about 10%. And I was like, that's usually what you give, 10% of your money, your earnings, you 10% to the church. So I'm like, now hold up now, Lisa. You done sat here on this television in front of a doggone camera, in front of all these people that are watching, and put it out there that Cameron was either coerced into, bullied into, or what have you, or out of the goodness of his heart, that he went and sold his house, that he was bullying, because he said that in his own words, he said they are bullying, like when Mary, it's alleged, coming from Cameron, that when Mary and Robert Sr. need money, they will bully their church members into, selling property or giving extra money or what have you. With all that talked about, and then you bringing in, the way she said it back then, I didn't believe, because she was like, they was like, well, what did he do with? He sold his house for $300,000 and gave it to Mary. The way she blurted it out back then, it didn't seem credible to me. And now Meredith is coming forward, was like, well, you told me off camera that it wasn't $300,000. And you yourself, Lisa, said I may have been, wrong about the amount. Now, your girl ain't the best at math, but I'm thinking $300,000, 10% of that is $30,000. If I'm wrong, peacefully and respectfully, give me the right answer. But that's about $30,000. $30,000 and $30,000 still a lot. $30,000, $300,000. That's a big difference. But the fact that she said it's 10%, that seems like he was paying his tithes. Let Whitney and Mary, let was it Whitney and Heather tell it Mary and Cameron had a relationship back in the day when he was younger, and that he felt taken advantage of. And this is why I was like, since he is no longer here to defend or cooperate, is that the word I'm looking for? Since he's no longer here and he's himself say that this happened, I don't think that should have been brought up. The relationship and, being taken advantage of. I didn't like that part. I didn't at all. Like, mm-mm. This man is not here to defend whether that happened or not. I just didn't like that. This is when we get to talking about when Lisa was on the hot mic. Lisa, you said about your best good girlfriend for over 10 years. Y'all almost like sisters. That she slept with half of New York and that her husband is in and out of jobs. And that's why they can't afford a house. But now you talking about your feelings was hurt because what she said. Now you talk about what my feelings is when you said I'm offended because every time I express my feelings, I don't know what that was, but basically her feelings is hurt. Because every time I try to express myself, it's offensive. We not finna do that. You said that your best good friend of over 10 years, y'all almost like sisters, that she was doggone and sleeping with half of New York. And that her family is a bunch of posers. And that, yeah, why can't y'all get a house? Oh, because your husband is changing jobs every 5 months. I was like, if okay, he changing job every 5 months. That means he's getting a new job. Now, my uncle and my brother, they were in the same type of situation. My uncle, like 20 some years ago, he would get a job, go to that, okay, it's a job out of town. It wasn't like it was, okay, I was hopping from here, I was the CEO of over here, and then, I became manager over here. No, there was a specific job. Okay, this job that I do, the line of work I am in, they have jobs all over the country. I go to this location. I'm in Chicago for maybe 6 months. I stay there 6 months. Give me a little uh, um, Airbnb, rent me a home, rent me an apartment, what have you. Once that job is up, they send me to another location. My brother was doing that as well. He went from Columbus, Georgia. His job that he had since he was 17. Once he turned like in his maybe mid 30s, that job was no longer there. He worked for Blue Cross Blue Shield. Once that job was no longer there, okay, he has a degree in computer science. Okay, we got his job for you. You're going to go to Chicago for X amount of time. He was in Chicago for X amount of time. Okay, that job sent him to Vegas. With that, he was able to get a job elsewhere making apps and stuff. And he's been in Vegas for the past, I don't know how many, like 8, 9 years or so. But yes, but the way she was saying is like your husband's changing jobs every 5 months. That means he's consistently working if he's changing jobs. But anyways, okay. Then she denied saying anything. Like, girl, they had your voice. And then they was like, in case y'all didn't catch this, we gonna put the closed caption up there for you so you can hear exactly everything she said. And then a little while later, Andy got out his cue cards. He was like, you said to your best good friend of over 10 years, who are you? Y'all are like sisters, that she has slept with half of New York, that her family are posers, and that her husband can't keep a job, and that's why they can't buy a house. Child, this is when Meredith was breaking it down. She's like, you didn't defend me when me and Mary were going at it. Meredith let her know, when you and Mary are going at it, I'm not getting into it. That's y'all business. Y'all are both grown. Just like I'm not gonna make Mary be friends with she who shall remain nameless. Y'all both grown. Y'all are both grown. Y'all don't need to be friends if y'all don't want to be. If she don't want to be friends with you, she don't have to be friends with you. She who shall remain nameless. Heather, Whitney, Lisa, stop trying to make Mary be friends with people she don't want to be friends with. Two, with us being best friends for over 10 years, there should have been nothing that I could have told you to make you come for me like that. And three, I called you a few days before my daddy passed. You didn't even call me back. I told you this man was transitioning. I didn't get no call back. After he passed and I invited you to the Shabbat, all you wanted to do was make me become acquainted with she who shall remain nameless. So you ain't been there for me. Mm-mm. Then you over here talk about something. Well, Lisa, you didn't like the fact that I was friends with Jen, but it's okay for Heather and Whitney to be friends with Jen. That's not fair. I'm like, Lisa, did you forget you got mad at your friend Angie because she found out that Whitney was her cousin and they wanted to be cool? Did you forget that? While you over talking about something, you were mad because first of all, you was mad that Meredith and Mary became friends. Let's put that out there. You was mad at Angie, who y'all was friends for what 10 years, because she wanted to develop a relationship with her cousin. Girl, they had some other stuff going on, and then Lisa, girl, I don't know if this was your way of justifying coming at your friend the way you came at her and saying that she was sleeping with half of New York and all that stuff, but she was like, "Well, I heard that you said that my house, decorations and the way I, design things was ugly." Meredith was like, "So because you heard through the grapevine that I was talking about your house, that gave you a good enough reason to talk about me like that?" So let's back forward, y'all. Y'all remember earlier when Lisa said that she didn't invite Jen to her kids' little launch party or whatever they was having because Jen talked mad trash about her in front of her sons, and they were upset. Meredith pulled that all back around. Was like, how do you think my kids feel when you did that in front of all these people, in front of the world? Y'all, I love the way Lisa was they was holding her to the fire. And one thing that Lisa loves to do, and Jen does the same thing, when you're holding her to the fire, she becomes the victim and starts crying. So, y'all, that was the gist. If I left anything out, by all means, leave a comment below. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Feel free to subscribe. It's free all day, every day, free 99. Make sure your notifications are on so my beautiful face puts up a video. You can click on it, you can like it, you can share with your people, and you can come over and be one of my peoples. If you're already one of my peoples, oh, welcome back. Y'all know what to do. Tell your people, tell their people to come over and be one of my peoples by clicking that icon above. This is Lady T signing off. Have a good one.